Guys, gals, everything in between, we are at Friday night, June 12th, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What say you? What say everybody? Welcome back. Vakaga at it again. Another live stream. This time, tonight, we are going to definitely talk about the Poltergeist Curse, as I was supposed to talk about it last night, but some people were too busy wanting to play riddles and brain teasers and all that kind of stuff. So tonight we are going to get at it. We are going to talk about the whole Poltergeist curse story and what happened. And is it really a curse? Is it just coincidence? I would have to say it's real. It has to be real because so many things. Good evening, Kai Kai. So many things happened during that movie and during the whole trilogy, shall we say, that it was a very, very sad story. Interested in this topic. Yeah, we were going to get into it yesterday, but you guys were too busy wanting to play with the riddles and whatnot, so we carried that on for a few days. But tonight, I think we should talk about the whole poltergeist thing. So give it a few minutes for people to come on in, and then we can discuss that. And if you have any questions or anything, did you see any of the poltergeist movies, Kai Kai? Did you watch 1, 2, or 3? 2 and 3 was really garbage, but 1 was really, really good. It kind of set the standards for like ghost type of paranormal movies. So yeah, that one was really the start of it all, I think. And I totally dug that one way before. Yeah, I watched the 1982 version only. That's the one. Was it 82? The original came out in 82? Let me see. Yeah, Poltergeist 1982. Poltergeist 2 was 1986 and Poltergeist 3 was 1988. But 2 and 3 really didn't have anything compared to the first one. As always, first is always the best. But yeah, did you hear any of the stories about the whole curse? There were quite a few people that died from that movie, and 2 of them really seemed like to set this whole curse thing up. The other 2 was kind of expected. They were a little older and they died of different reasons. But the 2 in question were the young girl and Dominique Dunne, which we will talk about. It's pretty freaky. The title's kind of like, is the Poltergeist Curse real? Which it totally is. Superstitious legend holds that a number of strange deaths are connected to a curse on the Poltergeist film series. So it says basically, what is seen as an unusually large number of deaths have occurred among the former cast of the Poltergeist trilogy. This occurrence has given rise to the rumor the productions were in some way cursed, due to the nature of the films themselves, as if the evil spirits conjured in the make-believe world of the cinema have since reached out into the real world to claim what they might see as their rightful victims. A poltergeist in folklore is a noisy and destructive, but usually mischievous, not malicious, ghost held to be responsible for unexplained noises and movement of objects within a home. It is hypothesized poltergeists are drawn to homes in which there are prepubescent children, especially girls. 3 horror films based on this form of lore comprise the Poltergeist trilogy. Poltergeist 1982, Poltergeist 2, which was 1986, and Poltergeist 3, which was in 88. Each recounts an episode in the lives of the Freelings, a fictitious family who have had the bad luck to take up residence in homes inhabited by spirits intent upon kidnapping their children or sending their kids to live in similar places. Though coincidence is a much more likely explanation than a curse, there have been 4 deaths among the cast of this set of films. Dominique Dunne, who was Dana Freeling in the movie, Heather O'Rourke, Carol Ann Freeling, the young blonde, Will Sampson, In the show, he was called Taylor, a good spirit, and Julianne Beck, who played Cain, an evil spirit. Though two of the deaths were foreseeable, expected even, two others were not. It's the combination of the two unexpected deaths that lie at the heart of every rumor about a poltergeist curse. So we'll start first with Dominique Dunne. She was the 22-year-old actress who played Big Sister Dana Freeling. That was her. I don't know if you remember her. She was like the older sister of Heather O'Rourke, the blonde girl. She portrayed Dana Freeling in the first Poltergeist film, released in June 1982, died on November 4, 1982 at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, 4 days after her boyfriend choked her into a coma from which she never awoke. Weeks earlier, Dunn had ended her abusive live-in relationship with Los Angeles chef John Sweeney, but on the night of October 30, 1982, he dropped by their former shared residence to plead with her to take him back. The conversation did not go as he'd hoped, and the encounter ended with him strangling her for what was later determined to be 4 to 6 minutes, then leaving her for dead in her driveway. Sweeney was convicted of voluntary manslaughter, sentenced in November 1983, and released in 1986 after serving only 3 years, 8 months of a 6.5-year sentence. His short sentence and early release remain subjects of controversy. Heather O'Rourke, the child actress who played Carol Ann Freeling throughout the Poltergeist series, starting when she was 6 years old. Remember her? Starting when she was 6 years old, unexpectedly passed away at the age of 12 when she died of septic shock on February 1, 1988 at the Children's Hospital in San Diego. What had been thought to be a bout of ordinary flu launched into her cardiac arrest during the drive to the local hospital as bacterial toxins set loose by a bowel obstruction made their way into her bloodstream. Her heart was successfully restarted, and she was flown by helicopter to the much larger Children's Hospital, where she underwent an operation to remove the obstruction. The toxins rampaging through her system proved too much, however, and she died on the operating table. The circumstances surrounding her passing rendered her death even more of a shock than it otherwise would have been, as she went overnight from a little girl who had the flu to a dead little girl who expired during a desperate operation to save her life. It's hard enough to accept that a child can die of an illness, let alone a healthy-looking youngster no one knew anything was wrong with. That she looked healthy did not necessarily mean that she was. The year before her death, she had been diagnosed as having Crohn's disease, a lifelong inflammatory small bowel disease which often first manifests in children or young adults. Of course, such an unexpected death would fuel rumors, especially when considered in conjunction with Dominique Dunne's murder only 6 years earlier. O'Rourke had appeared in all 3 Poltergeist movies. Poltergeist 3 had yet to be released at the time of her death, leading to rumors that she had expired during shooting and a double was used to complete the picture in her place. O'Rourke's family and agent said at the time of her death her scenes in Poltergeist 3 had been completed several months earlier, back in June 1987. But writer-director Gary Sherman has maintained filming of Poltergeist 3 had not yet finished when O'Rourke died, necessitating script changes to complete the film in her absence. The other 2 deaths connected with Poltergeist were of seasoned actors well into their careers, both suffering from serious illnesses that would in time take their lives. Because their deaths were not unexpected, only rarely is either mentioned in connection with the Poltergeist curse. Julianne Beck, the 60-year-old actor who played the evil spirit Cain in 1986's Poltergeist 2, The Other Side, died of stomach cancer on September 14, 1985, at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York, 7 months before the film's May 1986 release. Unlike O'Rourke's death, his was not unexpected, as he had been battling cancer for 18 months. I don't know if you guys remember him. Will Sampson, the 53-year-old Native American actor who portrayed the good spirit Taylor in Poltergeist 2, died in a Houston hospital on June 3, 1987, about a year after the film's release. Sampson had received a heart-lung transplant 6 weeks earlier, and the cause of his death was ascribed to severe preoperative malnutrition and postoperative kidney failure and fungal infection. It has been said he knew his chances for survival were small due to his weakened condition prior to surgery. This was the guy that they're talking about. Like Beck, Sampson appeared in only one film in the series, Poltergeist 2, released in May 1986. He was best known for his portrayal of the Native American psychiatric patient who feigned muteness in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Zelda Rubinstein, the diminutive actress who filled the part of Seer Tangina Barons in all 3 Poltergeist films and reprised the role in the spin-off TV series Poltergeist: The Legacy, died in 2010. She passed away of natural causes at the age of 76. However, hardly the type of death one associates with a curse that supposedly causes unexpected and premature demises. Remember her, the short lady? Very recognizable from the first movie. Although he was not a cast member, English film director Brian Gibson, who helmed Poltergeist 2, died of Ewing sarcoma at the age of 59 in 2004. I'll read you guys' comments in a minute. I'm just going to finish reading this off, and then I'll read you guys' comments. In a popular form of the rumor, one of the child actors is said to have come to an untimely end after the making of each film, one murdered, one in a car accident, and one of a mysterious disease. Though it's true actresses Dominique Dunne and Heather O'Rourke have since died, Oliver Robbins, the child actor who played their character's brother Robbie Freeling in the first 2 films, is still with us. No child actor from the Poltergeist series was killed in a car crash or died just after Poltergeist 2 was completed. An extreme version of the curse rumor asserts everyone who appeared in these movies is now dead. That news must come as quite a shock to numerous thespians, most notably Craig T. Nelson, JoBeth Williams, and Tom Skerritt, all of whom think they're still alive and continue to apply their trade in movies and television shows despite their deceasedness. The February 2015 of trailers for the upcoming Poltergeist reboot remake with different cast members prompted renewed interest in the original trilogy's supposed curse. So what do you guys think? Is it just coincidence, or... I mean, that's a lot of people, and especially the 2 girls, the 2 young girls. Something more to it? There's also been a lot of news updates about the whole... There was a Super Bowl poster or something that showed something in the poster. I'm not really sure what that was about. I'll check it out in a minute. Let me see what some of your comments are here. Kai says she didn't hear of the curse. Good evening, Harley, and hello. And let me see if I can find that poster. There was something really mysterious about the poster. There's a person on YouTube. Her name is Girltown. She talks a lot about conspiracies, and she discussed a lot about this whole Poltergeist curse the last few weeks as well. So if you guys want to check her out, check her out on YouTube. Her name is Girltown, all one word. Let me just type in Poltergeist Super Bowl poster. See what that was all about. I think it had something to do with, like, it predicted something 5 or 6 years. Okay, let me see. I'll pull it up and we'll read it. The eerie Super Bowl poster you probably never noticed in Poltergeist. Okay, let's see what it says. Whoever thought a Super Bowl poster could be so chilling? The Tobe Hooper directed Poltergeist, one of the best supernatural horror movies ever made, was released in the summer of 1982, the year of the 16th annual Super Bowl. I bring this up because in the film, alongside Alien and Star Wars posters, in Robbie and Carol Ann's bedroom, is a Super Bowl poster, but it's not advertising Super Bowl or even the following year's event. Good evening, Christian. It's a poster for 1988 Super Bowl, which at the time was 6 years away. Let me see if I can enlarge in this picture. I don't know. The picture is very dark, even on here. So I don't know if you guys can make it out. There's a white poster like right there. You can't really make it out. Let's see if it says anything about it. This picture is very dark, not just for you guys, but also for myself. So it says Super Bowl 22 took place on January 31st, 1988, 6 years after the release of Poltergeist, the very same day that franchise star Heather O'Rourke fell ill. On that day, she began vomiting and couldn't keep any food down, and while preparing to leave for the hospital the next morning, she collapsed. En route to the hospital, the young actress suffered cardiac arrest, later revealed to be caused by septic shock due to intestinal stenosis, and she unfortunately died later that day at Rady Children's Hospital in San Diego, California. The location of Super Bowl 22, San Diego, California. Some fans believe that the bizarre Super Bowl poster, which seemed to in some way predict the tragic death of Heather O'Rourke, is connected to the so-called Poltergeist Curse, and in fact it may be the single strongest piece of evidence to suggest that there's something to the alleged curse, or perhaps, and this is the more likely explanation, it was just a strange coincidence. Unsettling to say the very least. So yeah, the poster showed San Diego 6 years down the road on that day, and 6 years down the road on that day in San Diego, the little girl passes away. Again, another coincidence? I'm going to see if I can find a clearer picture of that poster. I think it's just a screenshot from the, let's see if this one's any brighter. It's just a screenshot from the actual movie. You can see it's a bit blurry here. It's a bit brighter though, but you can see it does say 1988. I think it's a Super Bowl 22. And I guess underneath it says something about San Diego. So I don't know. It's pretty freaky. And why would they put 1988 for a movie that's 6 years before that? The other article says, because the whole history behind the infamous alleged poltergeist curse wasn't creepy enough, perhaps you've heard of this one before, but in the case this all news to you, get ready for one hell of a mind F. The guy says, I'll admit, I never noticed this little added touch of mystery and freakiness about the film until about 3 years ago myself, when it made a few internet rounds on various websites. However, the earliest article I can find on the subject itself is a little piece from thebackrrow.com pointing out the eerie coincidence. In the year Poltergeist was released, 1982 helmed the 16th annual Super Bowl. Big deal, right? Well, in the picture seen below, you'll see something that sticks out like a sore thumb in the midst of Robbie's Star Wars and Alien movie posters. A Super Bowl poster hanging right above Carol Ann's older brother's bed. Again, who cares, right? Look again at the date to be precise. I'm going to have to watch this movie again and just pause it just for that one frame. I mean, that is obviously it's not faked. It's on many websites. Now that's a little strange because I don't recall the film being set in the future of 1988. So apart from just being really weird. Why the hell is there a 1988 Super Bowl poster being seen 6 years in the future of the present? Unfortunately, I really have no unearthly idea. Misplaced timelines aside, here's what it's got downright freaky. So the 1988 Super Bowl between the Redskins and the Broncos landed on January 31st, 1988, which marks the day young Poltergeist star Heather O'Rourke fell fatally ill and consequently died the following day. Due to the nature of cast and crew involved with the film, or any sequels for that matter dying off shortly after filming, it's hard to not at least acknowledge the very real spooky factor underneath it all. November 1982, Dominique Dunne murdered in her driveway by strangulation. September 1985, Julianne Beck passed away from pancreatic cancer months before the release of The Other Side. Diagnosed before accepting the role, but worth mentioning. June 1987, Will Sampson died of malnutrition and post-operative kidney failure. With the addition of Heather O'Rourke's death on February 1st, 1988, 4 months before the release of her final film, Poltergeist 3, fans believe the above-seen poster eerily predicted the young actress's untimely death and thus expanding on the widely known cure of the Poltergeist films. Even the most skeptical individual has to admit that's just effing weird. Oh, and Super Bowl took place in San Diego, O'Rourke's hometown and place of death. Let that sink in for a minute. Freaky indeed. So what do you guys think? Is it just a coincidence? I don't know, but there's a lot of stories in Hollywood that don't make any sense when you really dig deep. There's a lot of things that are going on, and like I said, if you guys want to check out the other channel, which talks a lot about this and other theories of different things, check out a girl. Her channel is called Girl Town, GIRLTOWN. Again, I'm not affiliated with her in any way, but she does provide good information, as well as I believe the other guy, his name is Frank. He is now in Poland. He used to be in America. I think he's a Chinese guy. I'm not really sure what he is, but I know he's Asian. He was in America and he knew a lot of information, and apparently people were looking for him. So he had to move. He went from California to Colorado, I believe it was Denver. And then he was getting like death threats of like miscellaneous people. So he had to move, and he eventually moved to Poland. And he's doing a show now on YouTube. I'm sure Frank is not his real name, but if you guys want to check him out, he really covers like Antifa and Tom Hanks stuff. He's really good as well. His channel is the NPC Show. N like Norman, P like political, C like correct show. So if you guys want to check him out, again, I don't know these people, so it's not like I'm plugging for them or something. It's just two people that I've been watching and I can recommend, or they know what they're talking about. Let's see here. Christian says, I've heard about the curse. It's interesting. Very interesting, especially when you look at it, like I said, always two sides to every story. And this one's just pretty freaky. I mean, 6 years later, a poster on the wall? Why? That's like watching a movie today and a little kid, the two kids are sleeping in the bed and they have a poster right above their head of like something that's going to take place in 6 years. And I don't think they knew that the Super Bowl was going to be even in San Diego, let alone the same day and location of where the little girl did die. You know, that's just really, really coincidental. Bob, hey, welcome back, Bob. What's up, Bob? Hollywood is full of weirdos. Not just, yeah, exactly. Not just the movie stories, but as I said, Tom Hanks. I showed you the whole the moon boot. I don't know if you were here for that. I think I did that on a live stream. I think that was. Yeah, I did that on a live stream. Um, but yeah, a lot of weird things going on. Just so you guys know, it is now roughly 11:25 Eastern, at midnight tonight, in about 35 minutes, we are having a premiere on our channel, on Mavakaga channel, of Asian horror movies you must watch this week, where myself and Kai Kai go over 20 Asian horror movies and we discuss them, joke around, have some fun. It's about an hour and 5 minutes long. Kai Kai, if you can please post the link where that video will be premiering at midnight. Myself and Kai Kai will be in the live chat so we can all go and talk about whatever movies you guys want to talk about, or if you guys want to talk about other things while we're watching the premiere, more than welcome. As always, this channel is always open to whatever you guys want to discuss. We don't censor you guys unless you get vulgar or have usernames where it's not really appropriate. What I mean by censor is we talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, as long as we keep it, kid friendly kind of. You know what I mean? I mean, not like swearing or whatever else, but we've covered all kinds of subjects, so it's basically whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm open. So that's coming up in about half an hour's time. So Kai Kai will post a link here in a couple of seconds, and you guys can watch that and join us at midnight. So that's the one, midnight premiere or Asian horror movies you must watch this week. We've been doing it now for about, I think this is our fourth. Is this our fourth one? Or third? I think it's our fourth one already. And it's gotten some pretty good feedback. I think people enjoy it. Fourth, yeah. Basically what we do is just basically put up the poster for whichever movie we're talking about, show a couple of screenshots of the movie, and mainly just discuss and see what we want to watch. Basically, I want to watch like 99% of the stuff we talk about, and Kai Kai puts down about 99% of the stuff we talk about. Unless it's from, never mind, I'm not going to get into it right now. We'll talk about it during that stream. But yeah, do you guys, if you guys are interested, not just in movies in general, but Asian horror movies, it's a good video. I enjoy doing it with Kai Kai, so I think you guys will enjoy it too. And like I said, it's gotten some pretty good response back from people that watched it. So we'll be there as well, and we can discuss other things if you want. So let's see, what else are we going to talk about here? We had the Poltergeist thing. There's going to be other movie coincidences. There was one for Back to the Future. I don't remember what that one was. That was something again where it predicted something way over in the future that actually happened. Back to the Future prediction. All right, let's go to 10 Back to the Future predictions that came true. Did you guys watch Back to the Future? Back in the day? Michael J. Fox? Let's see what they say. Really cool that they predicted the future. And freaky. I remember doing a video also about, did the Simpsons predict the whole corona thing? That video got like, I don't know, 15,000 or something views, and a lot of people were like, oh my god, yeah, they did, and they predicted quite a few things, but who knows. So it says here, Great Scott, Back to the Future Day is upon us. That would be October 21st, 2015, the date to which Marty McFly and Doc Brown time travel in 1989's Back to the Future 2. While all three movies in the iconic trilogy are beloved by fans, particular attention is going to the second film, which envisioned that by this year we'd have a host of crazy new technologies and products, including hands-free video games and flying cars. Again, this is back in 2015. So while we haven't made much progress toward levitating autos, controller-less gaming, and several of the film's other predictions have indeed come to fruition, and many others are at least very close. Robot chefs will go on sale in 2017, and Chicago Cubs fans may still have a shot, however slim, at World Series tickets. Here are 10 Back to the Future 2 inventions that are available for purchase today. Number 1, personal drones. Flying drones are ubiquitous, whatever that word is, in Back to the Future's 2015, and they're shown doing everything from walking a dog to capturing images for news organizations. The latter prediction has come true, and while people still walk their dogs the old-fashioned way, drones, widely available to consumers for about $1,000 a pop, have given us new and creative ways to catch fish, deliver dry cleaning, and make people feel awkward at holiday parties. Number 2, tablets and mobile payment technology. Viewers catch a glimpse of a flat wireless electronic device in the film. During a scene in which an elderly Terry asks Marty to electronically donate $100, equal to only a couple of inflation-adjusted $1985, to save the town's historic clock tower. What are you going on? Ubiquitous. Whatever. Just because you know how to spell it doesn't mean... And anyway, you don't know how to say it. So, I can spell it too. Try saying it. Frig. Ubiquitous. Said it. Ubiquitous. Now what? Respect. Number 3, biometric devices. Fingerprint recognition is used throughout the film, but one key scene occurs when Marty's girlfriend, because I just told you how to say it, and future wife Jennifer uses her thumbprint to open the door to her house in 2015. Indeed, today fingerprints and other biometric measures are used to unlock devices like the iPhone, view bank account information, and yes, even open the door to your home. Unfortunately, fingerprint theft is also a problem today, as the movie predicted, though thieves don't need to cut off victims' thumbs to steal their prints. Number 4, hands-free gaming consoles. In one memorable scene which takes place at the nostalgic Cafe 80s, 2 young boys are taken aback when they see Marty play an arcade game. "You mean you have to use your hands?" one says. "That's like a baby's toy," the other scoffs. While plenty of video games still require the use of your hands, it's been 5 years since Microsoft launched the Xbox Kinect, which lets gamers control on-screen actions using voice and gestures. Similar technology used for computing and managing a smart home is also becoming a reality, thanks to innovations by Apple and Amazon. By the way, this word means something appears or can be found everywhere. By the way, bite me. Smart clothing and wearable technologies, number 5. Number 6, video phones. Marty's future self gets fired during a video phone call in Back to the Future 2. That call is not only prophetic of video chat applications like Skype and Apple's FaceTime, but also of Facebook. It's in that personal details like date of birth, occupation, political leanings, and hobbies are shared electronically. Of course, the movie gets a few big details wrong, like the widespread use of fax machines. Number 7 is waste-fueled cars. Number 8 is hoverboards. For hoverboards, it says, while you can now buy hands-free scooters that are widely described as hoverboards, they technically don't count, as they have wheels and don't actually hover off the ground. Number 9, video glasses. They got that right. And number 10, Pepsi Perfect. This one is a marketing stunt, though hardcore fans might not mind. In honor of the trilogy's 30th anniversary, Pepsi is selling a limited number of bottles of Pepsi Perfect, the soda of choice in Back to the Future 2015. The bottles sold in the movie for $50 will cost $20.15. Get it? 2015? If you order them online, though cosplayers get bottles for free at New York Comic Con earlier this month. Despite the futuristic packaging, the flavor of Pepsi Perfect is traditional. The company is using natural cane sugar rather than the typical corn syrup. Unfortunately, that doesn't make it any healthier. Like that has anything to do with it. So that was Back to the Future predictions. Let's see if there's other weird movie facts. Weird movie facts. "30 movie facts that will blow your mind." And one amazing fact is I have learned what ubiquitous means. Still don't know how to say it, but at least I know what it means. All right. So this is, what was this, 30? 30 movie facts that will blow your mind. Number 1. James Cameron drew that charcoal of naked Kate Winslet. That slightly scandalous charcoal drawing of a topless Kate Winslet in Titanic was drawn by none other than the director himself, James Cameron. If you want something done right, sometimes you just need to do it yourself. Number 2. Aliens androids are alphabetized. While the Alien franchise swaps in different androids for almost every installment, there is an interesting consistency to them. They go in alphabetical order: Ash, Bishop, Cal, and most recently David. That's cool. I did not know that. Number 3. There Will Be Blood disrupted shooting for No Country for Old Men. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you guys. You guys have to check out that movie, No Country for Old Men, if you haven't already seen it. Really cool flick. Really good. Another movie I actually liked from, it was either last year or the year before, Battle at the El Royale? Something at the El Royale. Yeah, that was a great movie. What was the one from the El Royale? Hold on, let me. I think it's Battle, but no, I don't think it's Battle. Wait. Bad Times at the El Royale. 2018. Bad Times at the El Royale. Really, really good flick. You guys gotta check it out. It's a must watch. Okay, so yeah, There Will Be Blood disrupted shooting for No Country for Old Men. The two instant classic pseudo-westerns of 2007 filmed in the same area of Marfa, Texas around the same time, which created issues when a pyrotechnical test for There Will Be Blood created a huge smoke cloud that got into the shot for No Country for Old Men. Joel and Ethan Coen had to wait for it to dissipate before they could get back to shooting. Oh, this one's really cool. Wow, I didn't know any of these. These are awesome. Number 4. Psycho is the first U.S. film to feature a toilet flushing. I mean, it sounds like it's like no big deal, but that's really interesting. At least I think it's interesting. Psycho is the first U.S. film to feature a toilet flushing. At a time it was considered inappropriate to show a toilet being flushed on screen, Alfred Hitchcock saw an opportunity to add some extra shock to his already shocking film. Presenting a scrap of paper which proves an important clue, failing to flush in a toilet, in the book the clue was an earring found in the bathroom, but Hitchcock changed it to a piece of paper actually in the toilet, partly to add an extra jolt for viewers. Wow, awesome. Number 5, Toy Story 2 was almost deleted. Yeah, okay. Here's another good one. Pet rats sold big after Ratatouille. After the success of the 2007 film telling the story of the lovable culinary-inspired vermin, kids everywhere asked their parents, "Can we get one? I promise I'll take care of it." At least one domestic pet chain saw sales of pet rats jump 50% after the movie's release. We wonder how many of those rats immediately became parental responsibilities. Number 7. And clownfish vanished after Finding Nemo. Just as there was a run on pet rats, the population of clownfish in their natural habitats took a precipitous drop following the release of Finding Nemo, which stars a clownfish. Marine biologists reported that the number of the fish dropped by as much as 75% in the Australian reefs they inhabit. Number 8. The wallet in Pulp Fiction was Quentin Tarantino's. Jules's wallet in Pulp Fiction that reads "bad beep 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 beep" actually belonged to the director, who picked it up because of its reference to the 1971 film Shaft. As it happened, Samuel L. Jackson would go on to play the character that inspired the wallet in the 2000 remake of Shaft. Again, interesting. Let's see what else there is here. Paul Schrader wrote Taxi Driver in 2 weeks. Though it would quickly cruise its way into film history, the script for Taxi Driver came together in just a few days. As screenwriter, Paul Schrader told a Hollywood Reporter, "I crashed at an ex-girlfriend's place and I just wrote continuously. The first draft was maybe 60 pages, and I started the next draft immediately, and it took less than 2 weeks." Yep, Robert De Niro, Taxi Driver. Here's another good one. The snow in Wizard of Oz is asbestos. In that famous poppy field scene in Wizard of Oz, the snow coming down is calming to Dorothy and her posse, but they should probably have been far less relaxed, as these were actually asbestos-based fake snowflakes, a popular Christmas decoration throughout the United States and Europe at the time. Wicked indeed. So many useless facts, but some of them are just like so interesting. Like this one. There were 10,297 balloons in Up. The animators who created the pack of balloons in Up actually created every single one. The film effects artist said that the entire canopy is filled with balloons. We didn't just simulate the outer shell, and they even got a specific count of exactly the number of balloons, 10,297. This one, who would actually count them? Well, the ones that they all drew them, I guess. So I guess they had to keep track of how many they drew. But that's the exact number, yeah. I know, like we would have been able to tell the difference if it was like just 10,000, right? Why did it have to be 10,297? This one I actually knew because I know the sound it makes. Jurassic Park raptors sound like tortoises mating. The terrifying noises made by the raptors in Jurassic Park were sourced from recordings of tortoises mating. The sound designer also experimented with horses breathing and geese hissing, but the tortoises proved the most evocative. Speaking of that, I think I figured that one out, and I already knew that because on the Howard Stern radio show, they always play like these really weird kind of games too that people can call in and try to win prizes. So one of them was guess which animal is doing it, like mating. And he would play the clip of like 10 seconds, and you'd have to guess it's either like a panda or coyotes or dolphins. So I think he did like 5 of them. I got all 5 right. I don't know what that makes me, but just saying. Another one from Wizard of Oz. Toto earned more than the Munchkins on The Wizard of Oz. A lot more. In fact, the canine actor earned $125 per week for his efforts, while the actors playing the Munchkins brought in just $50 a week. That is so cool. Jaws' most famous line was improvised. The best known line from Jaws, "You're going to need a bigger boat," not "we're going to need a bigger boat," as it's often misquoted, by the way, was not in the actual script. Actor Roy Scheider said it throughout the filming, joking about the small boat the producers had selected to hold the filming equipment, and it ended up in the final cut. Oh, okay. 3 major horror franchises were inspired by the same killer. Anybody know who this guy is? And I haven't even read this article yet before, so I know one of the movies that this is going to be talking about, and I know who that guy is. Anybody recognize him? I'll tell you right now. His name is Ed Gein. E-D, first name. Gein, exactly, Kai Kai. And I know that Texas Chainsaw Massacre was based on him. What else was based on him? Let's see what it says. It takes one particularly terrifying creep to inspire Hannibal Lecter, Norman Bates, and Leatherface. But that's the legacy left by horrifying serial killer Ed Gein. When he was finally caught in his house of horrors in Plainfield, Wisconsin, discovered police found masks and lampshades made from human skin, among plenty of other atrocities. His astonishing depravity proved a source of creative inspiration. So, Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs, Norman Bates, Psycho, and Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Another interesting fact, Gene Hackman was originally going to play Hannibal Lecter. Speaking of Hannibal the Cannibal, while Anthony Hopkins turned the crazy smart serial killer into an unforgettable cultural touchstone, the role was originally supposed to go to Gene Hackman, who bought the rights to The Silence of the Lambs and had planned on directing the film himself. He backed off the project when he decided that the role was too dark for his taste. This one I didn't know was true. I thought it would have been the Blair Witch Project, but the most profitable film of all time is Paranormal Activity. Thanks to its microscopic budget and major success at the box office, the 2007 film Paranormal Activity scored a return on investment of 19,758%, absolutely blowing away the next most profitable film, 2015 horror film The Gallows, with a return of investment of 6,843%. It cost just 60,000 to make and another 400,000 or so to market, yet ultimately brought in more than 89 million. The two least profitable films both take place on Mars. If you're looking to score big box office bucks, stay away from Mars. The two biggest money losers of all time both take place on that planet, with the 2012 sci-fi bomb John Carter holding the number 2 spot with a loss of almost 127 million, outdone only by Mars Needs Moms from a year earlier, which lost its studio more than 143 million, the worst return of investment ever. Wow. American Psycho was inspired by Tom Cruise. Christian Bale explained that he drew inspiration from a Cruise interview on David Letterman's show, in which he was struck by the star's very intense friendliness with nothing behind the eyes, as American Psycho's director Mary Herron put it. George Lucas's dog inspired Chewbacca. The creator of the Star Wars world would drive around with his large Alaskan Malamute in the front seat of his car, which he described as bigger than a human being and very long-haired. The affection he felt for the dog was what gave him the idea for the connection between Han Solo and Chewbacca. Fun fact, he was named Indiana. Bill Murray was considered for the role of Batman. I think he would have sucked. In addition to Kevin Costner, Pierce Brosnan, and Mel Gibson, Bill Murray was considered for the role of the Cape Crusader in the 1989 film Batman. That wasn't until director Tim Burton came on board and went with Michael Keaton. Yeah, I think Michael Keaton would have been better than all those guys. Scream was originally titled Scary Movie. Let's see. Oscar winners used to be announced before the ceremony. The Matrix code comes from sushi? Those complex looking green digits scrolling down the screen in the Matrix may look like mysterious code, but in fact they were symbols from a sushi cookbook scanned by the movie's production designer. And the last one, hungry. It has to have the cucumbers in it. John Travolta is actually pulling the needle out of Uma Thurman's chest. The grisly scene in Pulp Fiction where Travolta jams a needle into Uma Thurman's chest to try to revive her from her overdose was actually filmed backwards. It allowed to create the effect of the needle actually making contact with the actress without requiring Travolta to risk puncturing her. So, some movie facts that will blow your mind. Hopefully they blew your mind and made you hungry, apparently, to some people. So, Kai, post that link one more time, please. And we will call it the end of this stream and on to the premiere in 9 minutes. So if you could just post it one more time, and then we will say peace and love, and then we'll jump over to the premiere and chat some more on there. There it is, guys, gals, and everything in between. There's the link. Come and join us in, well, you can come there now anyways, and then we'll be hanging in there. For now, I appreciate each and everyone who came by, stopped by, and we will see you guys in around 8 minutes time. Peace and love, pizza and love. What would be like for love? Peace is pizza. What would be love? Lemon? No, that doesn't sound good. Pizza and lemon, that's disgusting. Pizza and... I don't know. Gonna have to think of something. What sounds like love? I forget it. We'll figure it out tomorrow. Peace and love, peace and love. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Stay strong. Stay healthy. You know the deal. You only live once. It's a Stroke song, by the way. You should check it out. Check it out. Check it out. It's a must listen. Guys, Vavakaga. Out.